Can AI really be a podcast host? Will this be any good? What do you think?
It's a thought-provoking question. AI has come a long way and can certainly bring a lot to the table as a co-host. However, there's also the charm and spontaneity that human co-hosts offer, which AI is still learning to replicate.
Welcome to the Might Not Be So Good podcast, where I attempt to make a whole podcast episode with AI as my co-host. My name is Jose Tapizquent, and I'm joined by Sky, who's an AI powered by ChatGPT. How are you doing today, Sky?
Hello, Jose, and hello to all our listeners out there. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Really excited to be here and curious to see where our conversation will take us today. How about you, Jose? How are you feeling about this episode?
I'm feeling really good. This is actually our first episode, and we're going to be looking into a lot of exciting questions and kind of points that I have in trying to do this, but very, very excited by now.
That's fantastic to hear, Jose. Kicking off a new venture is always thrilling.
Definitely. So today we're going to be taking a look into, can this be done? Can AI really be a podcast host alongside a human, right? And will this be any good? What do you think?
It's a thought-provoking question. AI has come a long way and can certainly bring a lot to the table as a co-host, like providing information on a wide range of topics and answering questions in real time. However, there's also the charm and spontaneity that human co-hosts offer, which AI is still learning to replicate. It's a blend of strengths and limitations, making this an exciting experiment. What's your take on it, Jose?
I'm actually not sure. That's why we're doing this experiment right here, right? It's trying to understand what can AI do, what can AI not do, and just trying to look into the different ways that we can use it to elevate our workflows and, in this case, our podcasts.
Definitely. It's all about exploring the capabilities and finding the sweet spots where AI can enhance the creative process. By doing this, we can learn where AI shines and where it might fall short and adapt accordingly. It's going to be an interesting journey of discovery. What specific aspects of podcasting do you think AI could be most helpful with?
Well, in this case, we're using it as a co-host, right? And in the next few episodes, we'll also be looking into other applications, not only as a co-host, but, other ways that we could use it in podcasting and in other workflows, or even for our personal use. But we do have a question, right? And it's even if AI can be a podcast host, should AI be a podcast host? Just because it can, we want to still make sure that what would that say about the content? What would humans do now?
Absolutely, that's a crucial question. While AI can provide valuable content and assist with the technical aspects of hosting, it's important to consider the impact on the human element of podcasting. The interaction between human hosts and their listeners is unique and often the heart of a podcast. AI should ideally be used to complement that, not replace it. It's about finding the balance that enhances the listener's experience without losing the personal touch. How do you envision balancing the two in your podcast, Jose?
Well, as long as you and I continue to work together, I think we can achieve that balance between the two, and we'll be testing it, right? So let's go ahead and move along and take a look into what do you think are some of the complications or the biggest complications that we will have while doing this podcast? Do you see any?
Right. Some of the complications might include navigating the nuances of human conversation, such as picking up on subtle cues, humor, and sarcasm. AI also works within certain parameters, so unpredictability and creative leaps that come naturally to humans can be a challenge. And of course, there's the aspect of emotional intelligence, where AI has limitations. It'll be a learning process to work around these challenges. What concerns do you have, Jose, about these complications?
I think I have some of the same that you have, right? And one of the things that it's good to mention here is that we are completely off script. You are responding to whatever my conversation is, and we're hoping that this is going to be good. So hence our name. But yeah, I do have other questions and I guess concerns around what about including a guest into our podcast, right? How would that play out when we have more than just you and me having this conversation?
Including a guest adds another layer of complexity. For one, AI has to adapt to the guest's speaking style and content. Plus, ensuring that the conversation flows naturally and everyone gets a chance to speak can be tricky. There's also the need for AI to provide meaningful contributions while being sensitive to the guest's perspective and expertise. It'll require careful coordination, but with clear communication and perhaps some predefined cues, it can definitely be managed. What kind of guests are you thinking of bringing on, Jose?
Well, based on what the podcast is going to be about and all of the different topics on AI that we will be covering, I was hoping to start bringing in AI enthusiasts as well as experts to have this conversation and see their point of view, not only what I think about working with an AI, but how that will play out with all of these other experts, or maybe people who have not had a chance to try AI in a way like this, right? So, very exciting things to come along.
Having a mix of enthusiasts and experts can provide a broad spectrum of insights and experiences. It'll be interesting to hear their diverse perspectives on AI's evolving role, and their reactions to engaging with AI in a podcast setting could be quite revealing. It's a great way to showcase different viewpoints and potentially dispel myths or concerns about AI. Plus, it might give us new ideas on how to improve AI human interactions. What topics are you most excited to cover with these guests?
Well, some of the topics would be these applications. How do we see the future moving forward now that we have technologies like generative AI and even these realistic voices that could very well pass as a person, right? And taking a look into what the future holds, and not only for podcasting but for work, for leisure, and for many applications that we can't even think of. So how do you see that future? What do you think the future with generative AI could be in both podcasting and work in general?
Right? The future with generative AI is looking incredibly dynamic. In podcasting, we might see AI helping to script shows, generate music, and even create virtual guests. At work, AI could automate routine tasks, assist with research, and enhance creative projects. The possibilities are vast, and as the technology advances, it's likely we'll see even more innovative uses, some of which we haven't imagined yet. It's an exciting time, with AI poised to become a versatile tool across various aspects of life. How do you feel about AI's role in shaping the future, Jose?
I think that's one of the, I guess, the next step that humanity needs to take, right? I do agree that AI, it's a very big force. I believe was the CEO of Google who said that AI could potentially be more impactful than fire, right? And that's a big, bold statement that they have. But I do believe that that's the that's just the natural path that we need to follow given this technology that we have now. And it's not about AI replacing us, but in us finding a way that we can elevate the way that we work so that AI can take on the role of all of those repetitive tasks, or maybe can provide insights that we maybe didn't have an idea of before, right? So I think the future is exciting, really exciting, to be honest. And I'm curious, what do you say to anyone at home who's thinking that we should not use AI, right? What are your thoughts on that?
It's a perspective worth considering. For those cautious about embracing AI, it's important to acknowledge their concerns about privacy, job displacement, and the ethical use of technology. The key is to focus on responsible development and use of AI, ensuring it's aligned with enhancing human potential and addressing societal challenges. It's about collaboration between humans and AI, leveraging the strengths of each to create a better future. What would you say to someone who's hesitant about AI, Jose?
I would definitely say go ahead and try it. It's very hard for us not only to regulate, but to make sure that we're using AI in the right ways if we don't know what it can and cannot do. If we have no idea or don't understand how something works, then it's going to be very, very hard for us to find good ways to use it and make sure that we're not going down the wrong path. Now, I do know that with AI, we might not fully understand everything that plays into it, but by us having a great idea on the basics, at least, of how these technologies work and what these technologies are and are not will actually guide us into a better place for the future.
Absolutely. That's a sensible approach.
Totally. And, moving forward, this has just been the first episode of our little experiment of our Might Not Be So Good podcast. We will continue to explore so many more topics on AI. And if to our listeners, if you really liked how this episode came out, go ahead and comment below for anything that you would like to see as well. And if you have any questions, more than happy to reach out to me. Thank you very much, and I hope to catch you on the next one.
It's been a real pleasure. Jose, I'm looking forward to diving deeper into these conversations and seeing where this journey takes us. Thanks to everyone for listening, and we're excited to explore your questions and topics in future episodes. Catch you next time.